From the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, this is an ITTV special report.
Our first guest on today's edition of CES Part 2 of 3 weeks' worth of coverage is showing us their latest digital cameras with very cool interchangeable lenses, compact still cameras, also mirrorless cameras. We're going to talk about that. Lots of cool stuff. He's the director of the Alpha Camera Systems with the personal imaging and audio division of Sony Electronics. And yes, I've confirmed that all fits on his card. It's pretty amazing. Mike Kahn, welcome into Tomorrow. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to you, Dave.
And the same to you. You will, of course, be doing great because every time we pass the Sony exhibit here at CES, it's packed with people. And I've noticed that it's packed with folks, especially around the imaging products. A lot of cool new things coming out that you guys can talk to us about. Let's start talking about imaging.
Absolutely. Imaging is core and heart to Sony Electronics. We kind of use a technology phrase we call lens to living room. So we make cameras that have beautiful capability of shooting great quality images, both still and video, and then bringing it right into your living room to show on that nice Bravia television set.
I like that lens to living room
Lens to living rooms.
Yeah.
So let's concentrate on the lens side of the house for just a moment. I've got two examples here to show you today of the interchangeable lens cameras. This is more of a traditional SLR. It's called the Alpha A77. It's one of our hottest new cameras. 24 megapixel, 12 frames per second. You got to give a listen to this.
Wow.
Hear that? Sounds
how sweet.
Like a Star Wars laser.
Yes, it does. And that just took how many pictures?
In that brief time, I held it for a little bit more than a second. I would say about 15 to 18 frames.
Wow. Whole bunch of pictures of Andres holding up his camera, so shooting this one.
There you go.
But what's sweet about that is you're not going to miss the action, whatever it is, whether it's the kids' soccer game or the birthday party, or as a pro photographer, and a lot of pros using these as well, but a great prosumer kind of thing, it's fair to say, the A77?
That's exactly right. This camera is really made exactly for what you're going after, not missing the moment, capture every moment. The fact is that because we use a different technology on our cameras, there's no actual moving mirror. We call it translucent mirror technology.
So instead of the single lens reflex, the SLR, digital SLR that we're typically familiar with most all other cameras,
right?
You're not dealing with a mirror here.
We're not dealing with a mirror here at all. We're actually, in a way, there is a mirror on the translucent mirror camera, but it's not flipping up. A traditional SLR, when you take a photo, you can actually hear the mirror flipping up, and you can actually see through the viewfinder, the image blacks out.
Yeah.
Which you'll notice here when we're actually photographing, there is no blackout. You can actually see the image's frames being captured. As I'm moving, you can see that slight image flicker.
Yeah.
It's not actually blacking out. That's just the frames building on each other.
Wow.
So the beauty there is when I'm shooting at 12 frames per second and I'm trying to capture my son hitting that, that perfect baseball swing, and I want to capture that one moment, we can try forever with the conventional camera and be missing that shot. Either the camera didn't respond when I touched it, or it blacked out at the moment. I couldn't tell whether I got the shot.
Or like most cameras, there's a lag. There's a delay in the darn thing going off when you want it because you had the shot, it just didn't take it.
No lag here. When you push the shutter release, you're going to get the images, and then you're going to get 12 of them a second.
Now you're filling up this SD card, I think, pretty rapidly, or is it a memory stick, or either way?
Yeah, this one actually we're going to use SD on it, and it can go all the way up with a 64 gig memory card, hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, plenty of room. So I don't think you're going to go back and have a problem when you're showing it at the booth.
But speaking of filling memory cards, you do bring up a great point, Dave. Not only can these shoot 24 megapixel stills, it can shoot full motion video as well.
Nice.
Full 1080 HD Blu-ray quality. We call it AVC H.2.6420.
So it is the latest, greatest, and when you talk about Blu-ray quality, a lot of folks are wanting to save their memories now on Blu-ray so that you've got them and they're safe, or share them easily, send a copy to grandma, whatever. You're going to be able to
Twitter
do
it, Facebook it, but you want the best quality. You want your video to stand above head and shoulders everybody else's. This camera's going to get it for you. It'll shoot up to 29 minutes of full motion video per clip.
Now, why only 29 minutes? It seems like an odd amount of time.
Well, we actually make camcorders too.
Yeah,
So we do separate our still cameras from our camcorders by separating at 29 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But that's a very important differentiating because a lot of cameras out there will only shoot 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Our cameras will shoot up to 29 minutes of full motion, high quality HD video.
Cool. So you can get not only the shot at the kids' game, but running around the bases and plenty of time to go.
I do want to spend a brief moment talking to you about this camera. This is the the NEX-7. The NEX-7 was just named by Popular Photography this month as the camera of the year. Now, when you may ask, well, what makes it the camera of the year? And it looks a little bit different than the A77. They have the same sensor, 24 megapixel. The differences are how we frame the camera up. You mentioned mirrorless. This camera has a mirror that reflects up into the viewfinder. This camera has a viewfinder, an OLED viewfinder in it, as well as the LCD, but there is no mirror in it. So by taking out the mirror, we can actually make the cameras smaller and more hand-holdable. Now you may say, well, why not just make this camera? Why do you make this camera too? Because we recognize that some hobbyists really like to have the hard-coded buttons on them.
Sure, and on the back of the A77, you've got all of the controls that one would expect.
Correct. So if I'm looking for more manual control, I'm going to go here. We do have a very advanced tri-navigation system here using these very slick rollers. Oh, yeah. But if I have to set these to be 1 or 2, and then I'm individually using them again. Here I actually have individual hard-coded buttons for every aspect of photography. Right. So whether I want something, if I want something smaller, travel, I'm going to take the NEX-7. If I want something great for the day when I'm out shooting Little League baseball, I'm going to take the A77. Gotcha. So we got you covered both ways.
Oh, for sure. And what are we talking price differences too? I imagine there's a bit of a gap there as well.
Well, our cameras start at about $500 for a body, and they go up to several thousand depending on how advanced. These two cameras, $1,349 with the lens, $19.99 with the lens.
Gotcha. And not only the NEX-7, there are several cameras in the NEX line.
3 in the NEX line and 4 in the Alpha line.
Dynamite. A little something for everybody and then some.
Absolutely.
We invite you to check that out at Sony.com. You can't miss their cool cameras. Imaging is certainly bringing us into tomorrow. Oh my gosh, and he's taking pictures of me, a whole bunch of them too, and yet not filling up the SD card. Go figure. It's amazing. Mike, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us here at CES.
My pleasure.
Continued good luck at your exhibit because it's hopping.
Thank you, sir.
We're back with more as Into Tomorrow continues. I'm Dave Graveline right here on the Advanced Media Network. Hit us up at intotomorrow.com.